You have a looming deadline, but God, all you want to do is not do it. Motivation? Nada. Well, how can you get motivated when you can't even bring yourself to start? Hi, I'm Noira, and I'm usually this. But today, I'm just a blob. Have you heard of this quote? When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. So motivational. It's been living in my head rent-free for quite a long time, ever since my tech startup days. You know, the days where, hey, if you're not very fucking motivated for shit, then something's wrong with you and the startup world ain't for you. But a realization that came to me recently is that motivation is a feeling, and you can't control feelings. Like love. You can't control that shit. I broke a few hearts figuring that out the hard way. So if you want to put that quote in context, it'd kinda look like this. When you want to love as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll find love. Doesn't that sound kinda ridiculous? Just trying to prove my point about motivation here. So then if you can't control motivation since it's a feeling, how the fuck do you get yourself to do things? Well, let me present you the idea that maybe it's not a matter of motivation, but rather figuring out how to start doing a task. How are you supposed to possibly find love if you don't even know how to get on Tinder? That's obviously a non-sponsored joke, by the way, but you catch my drift. I don't know about you guys, but for me, once I start doing something, it's not that hard for me to keep the ball rolling. What fucks me over is usually the process of getting myself to do something. Oh, the woes of procrastination, doom scrolling, voluntarily getting distracted by other things that currently seem more attractive than whatever I'm supposed to be doing right now. So, I asked myself, why the fuck is it so hard to just start? I then came upon the term mental distance in the Feel Good Productivity book, which made me think, have I been subconsciously avoiding starting things because I felt a great mental distance towards it? Mental distance, or psychological distance, is the degree to which people feel removed from a phenomenon. For my case, I often feel very removed from the task I'm supposed to do. Whatever the needs and outcome of doing the task, or the result of completing the task, felt like something for future me, not current me. It wasn't something I could enjoy or deal with soon. Unlike me getting social gratification from posting on Twitter. So, propelled by the looming doom of my creeping deadlines, I've decided to look into ways to consciously bridge that mental distance gap, in hopes that I can build sustainable habits that'll give me momentum to actually start doing shit. And now, I've returned with sage insights. Personally, if I were to dissect the elements that can discourage me from starting a task, it'd be kinda like this. Unfound fear or anxiety from the possibilities of failure or undesirable results, which I often make bigger than it actually is. Getting distracted, aka procrastination. Lack of an immediate actionable, my personal favorite. Let us unpack all this, and hopefully the stuff that works for me works for you too. Let's start by removing a blocker, that anxiety. I remember the one thing that broke me from my social anxiety cycle when I was younger was a friend telling me, it's not awkward until you make it awkward. And somehow that mentality has since become a permanent thing I apply to a lot of things, including failure. So if you put that same energy into the context of failures, it goes like, it's not a failure until you make it fail. Stop worrying about the things that's still up to the gods of RNG. You don't know your gacha results until you pull. Even if you do fail, what's the worst that can happen? You know, when you consciously stop yourself to think about it, it's not usually that bad. I just need to remind myself to do it more. Next up is procrastination, my old friend. 'Tis truly the Satan of productivity. Let's face it, we live in an age of internet memes and social media validation. It's so much easier to procrastinate compared to before January 1, 1983. So, let's stop beating ourselves up for doom scrolling too much and shit. What's the point? As my manager Vin would say, it is what it is. But here's what you could do instead. Make it harder for yourself to get distracted. Then make it easier for yourself to do what you're supposed to do. Let's say you're trying to write for your next video, but your phone's distracting you like crazy. Totally not me. Here's what I literally did for this video. I put my work focus mode on my phone that suppresses all my social media notifications and put my phone out of my reach. Then I put on some good music. And I get that template that I've made to help write these Just a Blob videos. Less distractions, less friction, and good music to lock myself in easier. We gotta make way for all the action, which brings us to the next part. What's an actionable? Honestly, it's an adjective and I probably shouldn't be using it as a noun, but it's my video. Anyway, it's my quick way of saying an actionable item, which is something that you can immediately act upon. It's so easy to say things that you're gonna do and the things you can do, but for some reason we often forget about the things that we can immediately do. Realizing this changed my life. For real. Every time I plan for a project, I always end up with a list of action items. Somewhat to be like, hey, these are the things that you need to do to mark the start of this project. And after every meeting, I always ask, what are the actionable items that we can do? To summarize the value of the meeting and give clarity to what needs to be done after the meeting ends. But what I realized kind of late was that I could actually apply this to literally anything. Not just projects or meetings, I could literally apply it to me wanting to go to the gym. Except to save myself from thinking over it too much, let's just stick to one actionable item at a time. For example, to start going to the gym within the next 15 minutes, I would first need to change into my gym clothes. Just let me jump through that first hoop first before getting lazy about everything else. I'll slowly inch myself closer to starting the task so that I can actually start. So, TLDR. If you're finding it difficult to start doing tasks, then consider the possibility that it's due to your mental distance towards that task. The task feels like a problem for future you that you don't have to deal with right now. So, the strategy here is to actually make it easier for you to inch closer towards starting it. Don't hope for a miraculous surge of motivation to pour down on you. Clear the blockers, put artificial blockades on the bad things so that you can make way for the good things. To summarize, clear by addressing your unfound fears and anxiety by realizing it's useless to worry about things that are RNG. And even if you do roll a nat 1 on your d20, what's the worst that could happen? Block. By reducing your chances of procrastinating by artificially making distractions harder to access, whilst at the same time making the process of starting easier. Then make way. Inch yourself towards starting by doing it per immediate actionable. Want to learn to play the guitar that's been sitting pretty in the corner of your room? Walk towards it. Walk towards the guitar. You can worry about picking it up after you've actually walked towards it. And those are the results of my nerding out. I truly hope what worked for me helps, or at least provides some insights for you. And hey, if it does, do share what you got done in the comments below. Oh, and yeah, motivation is overrated. Hey guys, I'm Noira, a VTuber who loves talking about life a lot and playing games on streams. Or as I put it, I'm the sea fox who sells escapism and daydreams. Now, Just a Blob is a segment on my channel where I talk about my life musings, my random shower thoughts, or like my life learnings and experiences. And I plan to do that bi-weekly, I hope. And if you guys are interested in that, I'd appreciate it if you guys would drop a like and subscribe so you guys can stay updated. Also, Feel Good Productivity is an amazing book by Ali Abdaal. I really do recommend it. I fully enjoyed reading it. It provides like a whole arsenal of tools that you guys can add to whatever is already going on in your life or whatever productivity stuff you guys already have or already know of. It's like a mix and match sort of thing. If you'd like it, I've added the link in the description below for you guys to purchase it, and it'll also support me. And that's a blob. I'll see you next time.